Baywatch is a pointless and goofy remake of a stupid old TV show that people used to watch to laugh at it or to watch big boobs jiggling all over the place. And for this movie, there's surprisingly a little amount of boobs. There's a lot of dick, though.
I'm Matt Brody, ready for duty.
Do you just look at my boobs? You should look at my face.
I'm trying, but it's so close to your boobs.
Ha.
So this is an odd film. Like, you think it's kind of inspired by, like, 21 and 22 Jump Street, but they didn't get comedians for any of the roles. Like, the only one was Hannibal Buress, and he is barely in the film. And he's a funny comic, but in every movie he does the same character, and he's not a very good actor. And, like, they needed some comedians. Like, they had, like, the guy that's supposed to be the comedy, like, the slightly chubby guy. Like, he isn't that funny, and the last stuff they do him is this kind of goofy. And the main character, the Dwayne Johnson and Zac Efron, you know, they almost make it for most of the film, and like it's really everything's trying to show them off, and it's kind of odd. Like, who is this movie for? Like, this movie is a hard R, and the humor is almost all gross out humor, and it's really like immature and not very funny. And it's weird, but there's a lot of, like, there's full frontal dicks in it, but dick and balls, and it's like a dead person's dick and balls, and Zac Efron's just playing with them, like, for a 10-minute scene about, like, playing with them and looking under him, looking at his taint, and it's weird. And it's a hard R film, and there's not one boob in it, like, there's only cleavage, and it's strange that if you have a hard R film, and it's a movie about Baywatch, which I'm sure a lot of young men, including me, watched it to see Pamela Anderson's boobs jiggling all over the place, along with the other girls. And there are some beautiful women in this, but they don't really, like, there's one, the Kelly Roebuck, who plays C.J. Parker, and she though has the most, like, almost boobs, but it's just kind of odd. Like, I don't know who the movie's for. Like, a lot of the, like, Zac Efron and Dwayne Johnson get a lot more screen time and a lot more of idolizing their bodies. So I don't know, is this a movie for women? But then it's the really gross out humor, which you think is kind of targeted at young men. But it doesn't know what it wants to be. And it's not a good film. For the actual story, it really makes zero sense. Like, you have this girl, Priyanka Chopra, that is trying to buy up the whole beachfront property to make the beach private, and that's not how it works. How are you gonna make it private? Like, the city would never allow it. That makes so much money bringing people in to shop at other places, hotels. Like, if it's private, it wouldn't work. And, like, she gets pissed off at the one guy from The Office who is, like, a counselor or something. And at first, like, is by, like, giving them a watch, like, oh, well, you need you to get at all these people to sign off on it. And he's like, oh, I got him to sign off on everything, except this one guy who won't give up his property. And then she killed him. Like, this guy just did a lot of stuff for you. Why are you getting rid of him? Especially a guy that, people are going to notice when he dies. And people are going to think, why is he dead? Wasn't he dealing with that girl and all that stuff was going on there? I mean, if just let him live, it'd be a lot easier. And there's a lot of weird choices for the film. When, with the story, like, you know, the Zac Efron is kind of like the swimmer guy, like, from the last Olympics. But you never see him swim that much. You never, like, why he's a great swimmer. They barely ever see him swim. Like, he gets almost drowns in one spot. And in that one scene, there's a long scene with, like, a boat that's on fire. And the fire looks so bad. Like, I don't know why they just didn't do something more practical. Because it looks horrible. It's also stupid because, like, a lot of the movie is almost like a mystery. But without the mystery, like, the viewer knows everything is exactly that's going on. But it's just, like, waiting for the Baywatch people to figure it out. And some of the stuff is really stupid. There's this back and forth with a cop. And what's weird is that he's like on the beach, like in like a bike cop, like a beat cop, and he's making fun of him about that. But then later, he had his own office, and he's like a sergeant or something. But why was he in little shorts by the beach? It doesn't make sense. And then there's also a thing like this: there's a chase scene, and one of the bad guys like fires like dozens of bullets at the Rock. And like they're like later when the Rock knocks him out and takes him to the police are like, "We have nothing on him. What are you doing? This is not your jurisdiction. You're not a cop. You're a bodyguard, not a bodyguard, lifeguard." And like people saw him steal a wave runner and shoot at the Rock. How are you letting him go? And they explain some stuff saying that, oh, that this girl has enough money to buy off everyone, which she never even says how she got the money other than selling some weird drug that they never show people using. And, but the cops aren't paid off. They never say that the cops are paid off. So why didn't they arrest this guy for firing a gun where an innocent could have been in the crossfire? And then the worst scene, too, is that, you know, after the long taint scene and the dead guy's balls, the bad guys come in to mess things up, and they film them. And then they get the camera and break the camera, and that's like the cops are like, "You have no evidence." They're like, "Well, we had a camera," and like, no, they destroyed it. And then later on, they sneak into the girls' club. And I don't see what their goal is. They sneak into the club, they find them doing the drugs, and then they call the police and they tell them about it, and that's it. But they use a phone, and they see the drugs doing so, and they know that they can use a phone as a camera. So he could have turned the camera up to the glass and filmed them getting all these drugs, and then turn that over to the police, but they don't. It's like so weird, like that whole scene. Like, what the point of that scene? They already know they're dealing drugs, and like why did they sneak in? The only reason they sneak in is that they could put Zac Efron in a dress, and they could put that in the trailer. It's just a very weird movie that I like watching it. Like, it's not like you can still kind of enjoy it, even though it's really bad. But it makes me think, what were the creators thinking when they filmed it? Like, who's the target audience? Like, I know when Screen Junkies, they went onto the set to do interviews and do some funny stuff. And that with Nick Mundy, and that stuff, in the interaction with The Rock especially, was funnier than anything in the movie. And it's weird. Like, I wouldn't recommend it. It's not a good film. Like, I'd probably give it like 6.5 out of 10, something like that. But thanks for watching. You can subscribe to me and check out my other video playlists around my head.